Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 England stream. I have got a great game coming in here today. It is again another one of LiquidSheth's games. It is LiquidSheth versus 21. Now I gave a quick little look at 21 just on Starcraft 2 ranks. He is a Master League player on the Korean server, so it should be quite a good game. If we take a look at the map, we are, as you can see, on Shattered Temple, and we've got LiquidSheth playing as the red Protoss in the south position, and we've also got 21 playing as the blue Terran in the north position. Now, I'm actually going to be bulk casting Sheth's games because I've got some free time, so I figure I may as well try and get them all cast. I will release them kind of day in, day out across the week just to make sure there's a constant stream. And I'm also going to try and get up some games from other players, obviously, because that just means that basically you get to see other players other than just Sheth. Now, I mean, this game should be pretty good. I mean, as always, the replay pack was released by TeamLiquid Pro, and that means that basically they get one player highlighted each week and will release a whole load of replays from that player, and you can get them all from TeamLiquidPro.com, and I do recommend you all having a look at them. I've cast quite a lot of their replay packs because they are fantastic. They've got some really good quality players, and they usually show some really good games of both people who are winning and losing. So they don't just only show their team winning, which I think is really good. Now, First Blood nearly taken there on that SCV. It did manage to get away with, what was it, 6 health. So this probe not going to survive for very much longer if it isn't careful, and obviously this probe is vitally important to Sheth because it allows him to scout out the gas timings, and ultimately that shows him whether there's going to be kind of early tech or anything else. But a good surround there by 21, and that probe is going to die the first blood of the match, so that's always a good little note to start on. And the gas finishing up now for Sheth, as well as orbital command just starting for 21, as well as his gas up. He's getting his first Marine out, and this is a fairly standard play from 21 at the moment. Likewise, Sheth isn't doing anything too extreme, just basically having a look around, getting his pylon spread out, always good keeping vision of the base. Allows him all the space he needs to get good kind of knowledge about any sort of drops or Banshee play or anything hidden that he doesn't want in his base. And the cybernetics core drops, so again, all very, very standard going on so far. We take a look at 21's base. Again, this is pretty damn standard. There's nothing too much going on, and we have actually got factory going down. Now, again, a factory is a perfectly good choice. We could see quite a lot of things out of this. We could see it being used for straight into tank production. We could see it being used just to get into the tech for starport. Now, if we do take a look down here, this zealot is bravely trying to chase down this SCV, but he's going to make a quick escape from it. I mean, those little rocket boosters on his back make him move a lot faster than a zealot. Now, we are actually seeing a chrono boost go off on the cybernetics core, and the important thing to note about that is that obviously if the chrono boost is going down, it means that Sheth does want that done relatively quickly, and it'll be interesting to see if he actually knocks out another chrono boost on it. And he has got the energy, but choosing not to use it, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do. And this SCV now coming up here, really just checking for proxy pylons to make sure there's no funny play going on. And if we have a quick look back at 21's base, we've got a tech lab coming down on the factory very, very early, and also a starport coming out. So we could see some Banshee play come out, and that'd be quite interesting. Obviously, a good thing to know with if he does go for Banshees, which is he's lifting the factory straight away now, so this is definitely going to be Banshee play. A good thing to know, actually, if we hang on, we've got a Zealot and Stalker in here, so the ad SCV is going to go down. And, I mean, I don't think much harassment is going to be able to be done. There's a bunker up here, so this kind of early, slight poking and prodding by Sheth will get turned away very, very quickly. The Marines are out, and, I mean, no, Sheth will pull back very, very wisely there. His expansion is actually halfway done, so Sheth is going to have a slight economic advantage as the command center rather has only just started now for 21. If we take a look at Sheth's base, he's also getting out his robotics facility rather. The chrono boost on the warp gate tech has now finished, so he should be converting this gateway into a warp gate momentarily. The first Banshee is now nearly finishing up for 21. He is also on his way to getting an armory, so could be seeing some early upgrades. And if we have a look, we'll wait and see where this Banshee is rallied to, but it seems like he's just getting the full control of 21 at the moment. And if we take a look in the middle, this probe may... No, the watchtower won't actually see it. Now, that's a good kind of position for Sheth to be in. And if we take a look here, the Banshee is now moved down here. And the reason Banshees are really effective on the Shattered Temple is because of this high ground here. It means that they can poke up there, and unless you've got an observer out, you can't actually see, although the observer is on its way, so it shouldn't cause too much problems. And we should be able to see some kills go down. 2 probes, 3 probes down. Will he get the 4th? I don't think he will. Just manages to get the 4th and a 5th as well, so that was some good Banshee harassment there. Easily able to just run away, and he will be able to get that pylon down. Now, obviously there's no way those Stalkers can attack up here until that Observer gets in, and the Observer should move forward any second now, although it looks like not before that pylon is going to go down. I don't think the Stalkers can actually get in range, and that's very unfortunate because obviously that pylon going down will temporarily supply block Sheth, and that's never a position you want to be in. And the second Banshee now coming in, so this is going to be a 2-pronged harassment, and that's really effective because it forces Sheth to split up his army, although he's already got Stalkers in position, so I don't think this Banshee is really going to last long. That first Stalker getting a lot of hits out. 1 probe does go down, may get a 2nd probe, does manage to get 2 probes there, so I believe that takes the total count to 8 killed by 21. So that's obviously quite a nice position to be in. Those Banshees have done a little bit of harassment, have been pulled back though, and I mean, this second Banshee is on its way back, being very badly damaged, going to get repaired, and that's a great thing for all the Terran players to do. Now, if we take a look down here, an Immortal is on its way out. I think we may have one already. No, we don't have one yet. And again, another Banshee coming in, picking off just a couple more bits of damage. This other one coming in, and that Banshee's on very, very low health down here. Will get taken out, I think, if it manages to start... Nope, there we go. So that Banshee straight down, but another one coming straight in and attacking the assimilator, and I'm not quite sure that's wise because he's just taking a lot of damage. That Banshee's going to have to pull back, doing absolutely nothing, only just surviving. I mean, I think he meant to target a probe, but obviously once you start attacking the assimilator, you're not going to do much damage. And now the first Immortal is out, obviously going to be very good against these sieged up tanks if he does decide to push forward. And now a 3rd base coming out for 21. Now this is quite an early 3rd base, but I mean, he's in the position to be able to expand. He's got this very, very strong defensive line. A 3rd bunker coming up already. 2 tanks behind it. He's got some Banshees in position as well. Actually getting up another Banshee as we speak, as well as 2 more factories coming out. So we're going to see what I'd imagine is going to be a very tank-heavy play. Now, against this army, it could be quite effective because obviously the tanks will do bonus damage to the Stalkers. But the downside is Sheth's going for a very, very Immortal heavy play, although he is now just grabbing his Robotics Bay. And that means Colossus Tech will be able to come out. Sheth only just now grabbing his 3rd and 4th gas, although these 2 gases, 3rd and 4th gas, 421 have been down for quite a while. If we take a look, a lot of tanks are on their way out now. We have actually got the forces moving out now for Sheth, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, that Observer is going to get a good look. Does actually use a scan in order to kill that Observer. And that's going to actually just force Sheth to move back. He doesn't want to try it. And I can't blame him. This would be very, very hard in order to push through. There's the bunkers there, all fully filled up with Marines. And we've got 3 Banshees coming down. Now, unfortunately for 21, Sheth's army is back in position. So he could do a lot of damage. And taking out the rocks now, which basically means that he can take his 3rd base. And those rocks are going to be able to go down in time to see those Banshees. So the Banshees quite sensibly pulling out, may actually arc round and try and attack the main base because obviously all of Sheth's army is down here at the natural, although he's spreading them out again quite nicely. And if we look, these tanks are going to take down the rocks. Obviously the Observer showing LiquidSheth everything he needs to know, and these Banshees are luckily going to survive in some very, very quick reactions from 21. Sheth won't be able to snipe any of those. The 3rd base now just dropping down for Sheth. The 3rd base currently on its little journey over the rocks just to basically set up 421. And we have got kind of a small expedition force. And by the looks of things, Sheth is going to go and take out these rocks, giving him back entry in. And I mean, if he does it before... No, the rocks will go down first, but obviously a lot of 21's defensive position is based around these bunkers. So if he does take out these rocks, then obviously it will become quite effective. And now those Immortals are going to make short work with those rocks, but the tanks will manage to siege up in time. So that will very, very quickly force back all those units. Although no Sheth is going to move back, which is good because obviously there's 4 Banshees there, Thor, all moving round, and again the 5th and 6th gas now being taken for both players. And the first Colossus is out. If we go to the unit count, there is only 1 Colossus on its way there. Thermal Lance nearly done as well, which will give them good range to avoid the siege fire. A Raven actually out now, 421. And obviously that will give him sight of any kind of observers there, or anything else which could cause him problems. Now, amazingly, +1 only just about a quarter of the way started for Sheth now. So I don't actually think 21 has any upgrades. No, he does. He has +1 attack already finished. I must have missed that going down. The third base is already pretty much sorted out for 21. So slightly ahead economically there. And a Templar Archives going down somewhere. I mean, salvaging the bunkers, which is basically he's happy with his defensive position. If you take a look down in Sheth's base, he has got quite a few Immortals, outgoal cannon there, the second robotics facility on its way, a Templar Archive, really getting ready to deal with a lot of splash. But as we see in 21's army, he's going for a pretty mech-heavy build. So those Templar may not actually be that effective. I mean, obviously there is a couple of Marines and Hellions, but against the pure mech army, I mean, splash isn't as important. But gold base is going to be taken pretty quickly for LiquidSheth now as well. Just getting down there, leaving just some units down here in case there's any more Banshee harass. And the gold actually also being taken for 21. And I mean, it's incredible just how passively they're playing. And these Hellions now moving in are going to snipe down those Zealots holding the watchtower, which will give him kind of just a bit of extra vision. Again, the main army of 21 is out of sight of the watchtower. But it did give him a good look at what LiquidSheth has got in store for him. And there's a lot of Colossus. Storm is on its way. And this is a very, very scary looking army. I mean, these tanks I would imagine are going to siege up pretty damn quickly. If they can get in a good position, then it'll be very, very strong. And they're really just coming knocking at the front door of LiquidSheth. And Sheth isn't in a great position right here. There's some Banshees out. Those tanks are sieged up. And just as all the units walk in, and that's going to be huge damage to all the Stalkers. There is a lot of tanks here. I mean, there's absolutely massive damage. The Immortals soaking up a lot of it, though, and the Colossus are doing an amazing job. And, I mean, it's all of those Immortals. They really took all of the tank fire. All of the Stalkers have been killed, apart from 2 by 21. But all the Colossus have survived as of yet. But, obviously, these Banshees are left with nothing which can hit them. And 3 Stalkers are getting warped in now, but there is a lot of Immortals in position. All 3 of the Colossi did stay up, and that's really key. Although, very, very quickly, another army of a reasonable size has sized up for 21, and obviously he is ahead in supply. The Raven survived, all the Banshees survived, so really there were a lot of tank losses there for 21, who is now positioning up ready to take the gold base. And I mean, Sheth didn't take too bad of losses. Blue Flame, oh no, Vehicle Weapons 3 rather, sorry, for 21 is on its way. So that mech army is getting quite effective, and a second army on its way as well. So we could see double upgrades starting pretty soon. Another factory adding to the 4 already there. And LiquidSheth is now just taking this gold base in a very and a 5th base as well. So the 4th and 5th base on the way for Sheth. Now, not really a risky move, maybe a little bit greedy, but there's no problem with that at all. He has got +2 armor on the way. I believe he is getting double upgrades, which is obviously a good way to go if you've got excess money. And talking of excess money, 21 has got an awful lot of excess minerals, so really he needs to start expanding a bit more, getting up as much as possible. And these Hellions will scout these 2 pylons going down, although there's good movement of army, and 21 really can't move out. Those Hellions are all going to die, and that could be quite a big hit. It means really that a lot of the mobility of 21's army will die, and they've cornered themselves, and there's not really anything they can do there. Those Colossus will make incredibly short work of those Hellions. But obviously, by moving so far down, it allows Sheth to gain a very, very strong position in order to try and pin him in there. But unfortunately, hasn't been able to get the siege up quite in time. And obviously, the tanks won't be in range if we have a look here. It will mean that Sheth can sneak his way back out without taking any losses. So that was a good thought by 21 in order of bringing those Hellions down. But obviously, didn't quite get his mech army in there soon enough. And obviously, that is the downside of a mech army, is that it's very immobile. And now we're getting a planet. There's already a planetary force fortress up, or that wall off, which is very, very strong. Gold base is being taken out, but the gold base and 5th base are up for Sheth now. So Sheth is a base up at the moment, but 2 more command centres are on the way. So we're going to see mass mules, and this was pre-patch, so mules do mine faster on the gold base. But still, if we have a look at the resources tab, 21 is very, very high on minerals. So it's going to be the gas which he really needs there. But he's in a very strong position now. There's a lot of tanks out, quite a few Thors, keeping some FCVs just around, even the point defense drone. So both players, LiquidSheth has just hit 200 out of 200, 21 very, very close to it as well. +3 ground weapons and +1 shields on the way for Sheth, and +3 weapons just finishing up now for 21, with vehicle plating and building armor also on the way. So there's 2 more factories on the way, and this is going to be a big engagement, and it's a good position to go in for. It means minimum damage will be taken. Those High Templars are getting some great, great feedbacks on the Thors, obviously doing huge damage to them, and Sheth is just crushing this army. Those Colossi are going in so, so strong. The Banshees, again, somehow magically staying up, and I've never seen so many units on so low health. That was quite unfortunate for Sheth not to be able to snipe them down. Obviously, the Banshees will be able to do a lot of damage to the Colossus, but now an Archon has morphed in and will make sure work of the Banshees. A lot of repairs going up on that planetary fortress, but obviously, the Colossi do outrange a planetary, so it is just a matter of time. And I mean, both players took a lot of losses there, but I would say what is interesting is that while a lot of losses were taken by Sheth, he still has all of his Colossi, and they're really doing a lot. It means he can quickly warp in more units, and 4 Archons straight away coming in there. 2 more Immortals about to finish up. So this army for LiquidSheth suddenly very, very scary, whereas 21 can't seem to quite do it, and that's because of the lack of gas. If we have a look up at LiquidSheth, by taking this 5th base very, very quickly, it means that he has been able to get it up, and these Hellions will be able to do nothing just due to all the photon cannons there, as long as there's some quick reactions with the probes. And again, he doesn't really want to line them up, because if he does, the blue flame upgrade will do a lot of damage, and there was quite a few losses there by the probes, but I mean, all of LiquidSheth's army is being pulled to deal with that, and I think there was a slight overreaction by Sheth, purely because there just wasn't very much there. He's got all the cannons. Now, it looks like Mass Planetary Fortress is the order of the day for 21, and obviously that's a good move, because well, he's got an excess of minerals, a massive, massive excess of minerals to gas, so he may as well form this massive defensive position. By all means, it is very, very strong. +2 vehicle armor on its way for 21. Meanwhile, +3 armor and +2 shields on the way for Sheth. So Sheth does have the slight upgrade advantage. Now, if we take a look here, the first planetary is on its way down. A missile turret also going in. Now, Sheth is just going to go for it. That planetary will die pretty damn quickly. The tanks aren't actually in range yet, just now moving into range of the tanks, but this is just such a big army, and the Colossi count is huge, so absolutely huge damage being done, although obviously moving in range of the planetary fortress, which has now just finished, so that planetary does go down pretty damn quickly, but it did some damage, and I mean, that tank count is now straight away down, and the gold base is in a lot of risk now. But obviously all the SCVs being pulled to try and heal it. 2 more tanks are in range, and that Immortal will go down. And I mean, once that Immortal's down and another Colossus fall, it's going to force Sheth back. But again, Sheth can afford to keep doing these trades. As long as he keeps his Colossus count high, he can just rewarp in a lot of units. He's got a lot of Templar there, so he can morph in a lot of Archons. Now, the high-sec auto tracking on the way, but it has just been cancelled, I believe. Let me check that. No, it does appear that he may have cancelled it, or perhaps it finished. In all honesty, I didn't quite see. No, it must have finished, because... oh, not necessarily, actually. So, a lot of damage being done to this planetary fortress. Sheth just moving in straight in. The repair wasn't quite enough to hold it, and a lot of supply depots are going to go down. It won't do anything, no risk of supply blocking 21 at all. And this third base is going to go down. All those SCVs are going to give their life, but... on the plus side, there's only really one mining base. I mean, the natural is pretty much mined out. The third base was pretty much mined out. And the orbital command will go down. And Sheth actually taking his 6th base as well. So this is not a good position for 21 to be in here. He's 80 food behind, and there's the GG. So, very, very good game. Sheth really, really showed how effective kind of keeping the pressure on, taking expansions behind the pressure allows you to do these constant trades. And obviously against the mech army, if you can wipe out most of the tanks and keep the tank count really low while keeping your Colossus count high, you can afford to keep doing that, and you can keep expanding behind. Because the mech army is so slow, there's a need to keep a defensive force back, because you can't go and attack, because otherwise you'd be so far out of position you could lose the game straight away. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please click subscribe and have a look at some of my other videos. And I will catch you all soon.